The Pueblo Railway Museum brought their big, beautiful Lionel model trains to the 2018 Colorado State Fair in Pueblo, Colorado. The State Fair has been held at the Colorado State Fairgrounds in Pueblo every year since 1918. The fair has its origins in agriculture, farming, and ranching. There are all sorts of animal-related activities to put a smile on your face. But the Colorado State Fair is so much more. Something different around every corner, especially if you're hungry. With dozens of food vendors scattered throughout the fairgrounds, there's sure to be something to satisfy your taste buds. But we're here for the model trains. Let's see now. Where are those model trains? The map says we're getting closer. Ah, here's a good sign. The Pueblo Railway Museum has their model trains set up here, in the Creative Arts Building. Just inside the front door, it's a model railroader's paradise. The lights and sounds and motion of our Lionel train town. Putting this model train layout together took a lot of hard work. Let's turn the clock back a few days. It's August 17th, 1 week before the opening of the fair. A few of our museum volunteers have come to the Creative Arts Building to begin construction. It all starts with this humble-looking foundation, a rectangular arrangement of a dozen tables which looks rather ordinary at first glance. The height of these tables puts our layout somewhat lower than other model train layouts to be found elsewhere in this building. But our low table height is no accident. There's a good reason for it, which will become clear later on. Time to start putting it all together. Every section of the layout is labeled to help the volunteers figure out how to assemble this huge train puzzle. Now for the other ingredients in our railroad recipe. Let's add some water, plenty of fresh vegetables, a small amount of forest, some essential services, a few carnival diversions, some train cars, some electricity to make it all come to life, and a TV monitor on the side to show off the museum's Facebook and YouTube videos. Finally, the most important ingredient, a generous helping of our helpful and generous museum volunteers, Deanna Applegate, John McDowell, Ron Roach, Dwight Maxey, and Dave Danderand. Building the Lionel train layout was not without its challenges. A faulty section of track caused a short circuit in the electrical system. That short circuit prompted a quick redesign to improve its safety and reliability. The delay put one of the 3 main track lines out of commission for most of a day. But by the opening of the fair on August 24th, everything was back up and running. Prior to this year, the last time the museum brought these Lionel trains to the State Fair was in 2014. In 2015, our good friend John Lest brought his smaller train set to the fair as a stand-in. But beautiful as his trains were, they were no substitute for our Lionel trains. 859 people signed a petition and donated over $100 in an effort to bring these Lionel trains back to the State Fair. The single most appealing part of a model railroad is the simple joy of watching the trains travel around the track. Every 10 minutes or so, all 3 big trains happen to be on the same part of the layout at the same time. This time there's a bonus, a 4th track with a trolley shuttle. This shuttle, running back and forth to the train station at the far end, makes a round trip every 30 seconds. Now that's quick service. It defies logic, but a person can watch these trains go around the track for hours. After all, that's exactly what our volunteers did, and they never got bored. The trains may be the main attraction, but a closer look at the scenery reveals lots of surprises. Take Emilio's Italian restaurant, for example. It's easy to see the tables and chairs out front, but look past the tables and into the front window, and you'll find an entire restaurant seating area all set up and ready for the lunch rush. A peek into the skylight on the restaurant's roof reveals a loft apartment. The animals here are friendly and sophisticated. This big red moose, for example, seems to have an ear for bluegrass. Meanwhile, this happy hound, looking for a new friend, introduces himself to the local mailman. And at the family barbecue, this fearless Fido helps himself to a different kind of dog, a hot one, fresh off the grill. Some details are more subtle and involve some technical trickery. When the approaching train passes by this sensor, the crossing gates will drop and a train man will emerge from this small building. Once the train has passed, the gates will rise and the train man will go back inside. But perhaps the most fascinating part of this model railroad display is the animated train cars. Train cars which appear to have objects moving around inside of them. These animated cars are all on the same train, traveling around the outermost track. This train is a real attention getter for the kids. They love watching the fish swimming and the M&Ms dancing around inside the cars. These kids, and so many others like them, are the reason why our tables are short, to give them a close-up view, and in the process, just maybe, light the spark of a future model railroader. Our favorite story in this regard dates back to 2011. Back then, our State Fair Lionel train layout looked much like it did at this year's fair. Many of the same volunteers were involved, and many of the same animated train cars were busy making the rounds on the outside track. In 2011, the museum also ran its Silver Bullet train, white gloves only to handle this metallic marvel. The cars on this beer train were also animated. The doors of the refrigerator cars open up to reveal the ice-cold contents, complete with special effects vapor. Then, as now, the swimming fish and the dancing M&Ms were the biggest hit with our smallest train enthusiasts. And although some of them might have been a little nervous about getting their picture taken, one little girl earned a special place in our hearts. Held high by her father, this cute little blonde was completely captivated by the magic of our Lionel trains. She especially loved to watch the animated fish cars. She was so enchanted, Pueblo Railway Foundation President Jerry Dandurand was moved to do something extraordinary. Jerry gave the little girl a shiny red Lionel caboose for her very own. That girl came back to see us the following year to tell us what a wonderful experience she had. Museum tour guide Ron Roach sums it up nicely. The museum volunteers don't do this for ourselves, we do it for them. The Pueblo Railway Museum thanks everyone who came out to the fair to enjoy our Lionel trains. Thanks also to Ron Roach, Deanna Applegate, John McDowell, Siggy and Mike Walker, and Dwight Maxey for representing the Pueblo Railway Museum during the 2018 Colorado State Fair. Thanks to their help, our Lionel train set was a blue ribbon winner. 3 major events fill out the rest of the Pueblo Railway Museum's train ride season. In October, it's the return of the Franken train. This event was so successful last year for the museum that it's been expanded this year from 2 Saturdays to 3, October 13th, 20th, and 27th. Saturday, November 10th is our annual toy drive. Bring a book or a new unwrapped toy and ride our trains for half price. The books and toys that you donate to us are forwarded on to the local fire and police departments to add to their toy drives. Finally, in December, the grand finale, the 15th annual Pueblo Express Christmas train. This fan favorite runs for 4 days, Saturday, December 8th, Friday and Saturday, the 14th and 15th, and Christmas Eve, Monday the 24th. As summer gives way to fall and winter, we look forward to seeing you at our upcoming events at the Pueblo Railway Museum.